Okay, here we are again. Uh, just gonna keep doing these. Open, high, low, close. A week study. We're gonna look at soybean oil. No, soybeans. And if you're not familiar with this setup, the reason why I open up with Excel here is because um, this is where my report is for the COT, which is kind of at the center of the trading that I do. All right, so I'm looking at market sentiment. If you peel back and look at Friday's roundup, ZS and ZM were towards the top of our list. ZM particularly, soybean meal, real bullish on commercial interests. So this has been what we've been looking at here. So let's just hop right to it. Something a little different here. Just kind of color code the futures open time frames here, and just going to peel back and look at last week. And what we should do first here as well is mark off our last week's high and low, or open or close, or high and low. Well, look at that. So this was it doesn't even show the market is being open yet for ZS. It might not be. Perfect, because the market is open right now. It is, what time is it? It's going to be about 8:45 Eastern time. Let's just mark these off as yes. So let's do this study real quick here. I'm trying to get these a little quicker. And what we're just trying to do is just a weekly study to find out where there is an impact on last week's trading week to this week's trading week. This gives us a reference point. High and low, maybe some resistances. This is last week open. No, didn't we already do that? Last week open. Last week close. And put in our high here. Darn it, TOS. It always does the same thing. If I go out and come back in, let's see what else. If I go out and come back in, always shows the open interest juxtaposed here to the volume and to the candles. And no matter how often I turn it off, because I like it on some of the charts, I don't want it to not be on there. I think you could turn it off in the settings, but for this chart, I don't want it, because we're looking at intraday here. Time frame, we're going to go intraday. We'll do our 10-day again, and do our 15-minute. All right, last week's close. Did this have any bearing on the market? Of course it should. Looks like it acted as resistance here. We flipped. We found support here, and what do you know? That's where we thought we had a buy opportunity. Because what we are looking for is kind of like a short-term low or an intermediate low on this time frame, and we're looking for a turn. We didn't get it here. Let's do what we always do here. It's just much easier to draw now that we've got some reference points. Okay. We're probably looking at this area going, well, is this the low? Is this time to buy here? No. We traded through it. This gets a little bit more interesting. We might even have had a better setup back here. Traded through this pivot, And this could have been, you know, your higher or low setup here. This could have been your trigger to buy too. So we had a higher low here, and we had a short-term low here, and a higher low there. Where could we have bought here? Since we didn't really gain support there. This looked like a short-term low. I mean, it certainly was. I mean, this wasn't taken out here, but it did trade through. It did trade through this candlestick here. Oh, and that was an odd one. That's for sure. Boy, I mean, why this sudden push here? Why this sudden pivot? Why this sudden pivot here? It just ended up right in the middle. And where did that close? I mean, maybe we look at that and say, well, that's some serious business going on here. We knew there was supply up here. They kicked it down a little bit. But it looked like it was, you know, heavy supply down there. But we had, I mean, we run some stops here? Is that what was going on? We undoubtedly know that, you know, we have a higher low here, a higher low here. And this gaining support off last week's close looked like a great buy opportunity for soybeans. On the Friday roundup, we pointed out that the comms are really bullish on soybean right now. So that's why we're here looking for a safe entry. You probably would have got stopped out here if you said, well, I'm a buyer here because this looks like a short-term low. You would have got stopped out here. That's for sure. Or maybe you don't, you know. Maybe you say, this is getting a little squirrely for me. You know, maybe you take profits up, you know, on this wick or something like that, or up against last week's close. But I mean, this is definitely a great buy opportunity here when we did gain support along the last week's close. So this identification was good. This was a good identifier. But we had some market fuckery. I mean, it's never perfect, right? Never perfect for me. If it's perfect for you, God bless you. Or whatever God you believe in, whatever. Yeah. They look good. They look good for ZS. Now, what can we look forward to here? Looks like it found support, or at least bounced off the Thursday open. Looks like it is gaining support around here. So we do have a high with short-term. This could be a short-term high. It's a lower high. There's a lower high on each side. Market's not. I don't think market's quite open for ZS at this point. This could be your short-term top right here. We got a higher low here. We need to break this. We get traded below this, and I mean, it's already looking like it could be. Well, if this doesn't trade through here, and we get a higher low here, then we'll look to trade through this last lower high. And if we do, up we go. So the market open is gonna tell us a lot here about where we should either get into this trade or market sentiment's low. I'm on a 15-minute chart. Let's take a look at the higher time frames. Well, I mean, we knew this, right? We knew there was a seasonal rally in February. We planned for it. We said we think this is going to rally, and it is rallying. So no big surprise there. Coming up real close to the ATR range. So that's your another confirmation, additional confirmation. Yeah, you're not in drawing mode here. I mean, that's pretty close too. About $10 off. Or 10 points here. One thing we do have noted on here is a seasonal decline in March, so we're gonna have to watch that. But this rally could we get up here? Definitely. Commercial interest here is on the rise. This is what we like to see. Open interest is starting to diminish here. I mean, this is when they like to turn it. I say the market. This is when the market likes to turn. Or, commercial interest, because who's moving the damn market? It ain't me. What else we got here? Same story with ZS. And this is part of the independent studies too. We're really concentrated here, or we're really trying to be concentrated here on the open high, low and close, week to week study. But it's nice. I mean, you get used to shifting back and forth between, this type of chart if you're following commercial interest and open interest. You get commercial and open interest and Williams PR and market sentiment, something a little new that we've been doing. So bullish commercial interest. Oh my gosh. Bullish commercial interest. We'll just say comms. Bullish comms. Diminishing open interest. Got your OI. We were oversold here. We talked about this before. We were looking for some kind of bounce off here to find a safe entry if you haven't found a safe entry yet. Sentiment. We're not at extremes here. At least on the daily. Rising market sentiment. Time to get the hell out of the pool. Rising market interest or market sentiment. It's rising up. What was good distribution up here? Time to get the hell out. Break the range. Away we go. No, ZS is a little different. I do have a rule of thumb with breaking ranges and then continuing in sentiment direction. I like for a pullback. I like for a break of the range, a pullback into supply, in this case, and then continue in that sentiment direction, like we see here. We break the range. I mean, that's a hard break. Wait for it to pull back into the ATR or into demand here, and then continue on the other way. So what do we have here? We're really bullish, and they start to close out contracts as we start getting towards the top. They are not buying anymore. They are sellers, and this was absolute sign of distribution. Is it a coincidence that it lines up with commercial interest declining positive outlook and increasing negative outlook? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? So what we got here is open interest starts dropping down, right? And they do like to kill it when they're declining. When open interest is declining and COT is declining, or when it's high. You see, in this area, it's up at a relative high. They're declining, and they know, everybody's in the pool right here. This is a good time to offload. Where's WPR? Yep, right up above 80. So we're in that, overextended or oversold territory. That's what they term it. What's this? Market sentiment not looking too good right here. Not looking great. It was already looking. Usually we like to see this, this exuberance here. This rise in market sentiment and peak. But I mean, maybe it doesn't. Maybe sentiment. See, this. It's almost like there's this odd delay here in sentiment. The sentiment's still high for it. I mean, it wasn't wrong, right? It wasn't wrong. We pulled back and we still continued. You know, we did retrace considerably. Well, market sentiment was still pretty high. It wasn't till we get over here in this area, you know, off the bounce, and then people are saying, sentiment's starting to drop. Oh, I mean, we're getting out. We're getting out, man. Soybeans going to zero. It's going to zero. They get bullish because they know sentiment is down. Think rally. So they rally it up. Now the rest of the market goes, oh yeah, this is great. Sentiment's at its all-time high. look where price is. Well, that sucks. So now we're down here, and the sentiment's starting to taper off a little bit. What happens? Well, they took it the other way because they got bullish. I'm looking pretty darn oversold here too. So all pretty good indicators. You can wait for your range to break. In these ranges, when there's a lot of activity, when price is moving down rapidly, you'll get that big gap. Where price moves up rapidly, you'll get this big gap of ATR, and it gets a little worrisome. You say, well, I don't think it can continue to go any higher than that, right? I mean, look at that huge gap. I mean, it's ripping. In 3 days, we jumped considerably. That's what, almost 100 points? No, a little less than that, about 80. That's in 3 days. ATR is going to be, the true range is going to take some time to catch up. This is where you like to see ATR, right here. This is where you like to see a break, because it's been, they've been figuring it out. Distribution. Well, they were really bullish back here. They took it up, and then they started, not as optimistic as prices moving up. And we got a little dump down. But they did not, on the 3-year index, did not come down below the 20. Did not come down. And it looks for some period of time that they were steady buyers in here until they hiked it. I don't know, if you can't see the relationship with commercial interest and market sentiment, then especially on this chart, I mean, other charts, it's a little hazier. It's a little harder to see. It's not as clear, but they're right on par with in the 3-month or 3-year. Oh God, I gotta get this right. 3-year index, 6-month index, and they're running parallel. Don't you see this very often? I want to have to look at the charts. I can't remember, but I know that this is one that runs pretty close together with their 6-month index. So it's almost like, here's the cycles for soybeans. This is what we're doing. Anyways, we're on to the next video and on to the next trade, but trying to keep these videos short here. So check out our Discord. Pop in there if you got some questions. Want to join the community, join the group, join the study group. We're available. Discord is probably listed somewhere in the description below. Thanks for watching, and good luck on finding yourself on the right side of the trade. Thanks.